Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Winback, and on today's episode of Heroes of the Storm, we're going to be playing everyone's favorite Scoot and Shoot. Her name's Sergeant Hammer. I don't know if you put that together already, but here we are. It's a YouTube video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Share it to all your friends and your family and your mother and your dog. I'm sure if your dog can sit through this video, then I have a very strange effect on dogs, and I need to monetize that somehow. So, team comps today are going to be Malthael, ETC, Sergeant Hammer, Falstad, Whitemane versus Asmodean, Alexstrasza. I don't know why that took me so long to remember. Nova, Blaze, and Hanzo. We're on Black Hearts Bay. I hate my life when I play this map, but we're doing it the best way that we know how. We're letting Malthael double soak. We're coming down to the bottom lane here to shoot buildings, push forward, and look at some Sergeant Hammer changes. So, since it's been so long since I played this character, our Q is called Spider Mines. It's going to create 3 mines that arm after 1.25 seconds, and then they do some damage and slow people once they go off. The range for this ability is increased 100% when we're in siege mode, so we can plant them farther away, make better decisions about where to place this stuff, and potentially prevent a lot of ganks, which is nice. Kind of what the ability's for. What a bait! Did you see how fast I got out of siege mode just for him to barely miss the tip of my tank booty and not stun me? You're welcome, team. I'm a professional. Our W is Concussive Blast. Deal 153 damage to enemies in front of Sergeant Hammer and knock them back. When we're in siege mode, the radius... The radius? So the range of the ability basically is increased by 50%. So we're going to be able to knock people back from farther away, which is really helpful because when people try to run at Sergeant Hammer right in front, you want to make sure that they don't do that and then they just go away. Yeah, that's it. That's how that ability works. Our E is called Neo Steel Plating. Gain 25 armor for 2 seconds. And then if we're in siege mode, we're going to get 50 armor. I cannot believe she lived. Our ETC is going to go down. I need to pick up his coins. So we're going to blast that bugger back as well. Make a safe escape. Our trait, you've heard me mention it a couple times now, but it's called Siege Mode. We're basically going to hit our D button and go completely stationary, but increase our auto attack range significantly, and all of our auto attacks are going to splash. Now, in true siege tank fashion, you're going to be using this ability a lot. But also, being able to identify when you need to be in siege mode and when you don't need to be in siege mode is a thing. Siege mode doesn't have a mana cost, thank God, because the amount of times that you have to use this ability is pretty nuts. But make sure when you are using it that you're sieging up in a position where your team can assist you if you get in trouble, and you're unsieging when time has come to push forward or push backwards. It's really all that there is. Any good Hammer player is going to be able to tell you that your D is the most important thing about playing the character, bar none. Now, our ults, we've got 2 of them. I will always swear by Blunt Force Gun, though, which is going to fire a huge missile all the way across the map. It is global range. It's going to deal a chunk of damage. It's 600-ish at level 6, and that is only going to get more and more crazy as the game goes on. Once we pick it at 10, obviously, you can see where I'm going, right? Okay. But it's incredibly good at securing kills. Oh, man, Asmo just taking out Falstad from the top side of the map. Is he finally running around? No, his laser. I'm not going to die. Am I going to die? I might die. I'm still probably dead. No, I lived. My healer is a monstrosity. Absolute fantastic healing. And Blaze is going to go down on the top side of the map, so hell yeah! Everything going all according to plan. I was never afraid of dying at all. At all. Not a singular once. Back to the build. So, I mean, Napalm Strike exists as well. It's, I guess, fine for, like, clearing or split pushing or some shit. I don't know. I don't pick that talent. I used to, way, way, way back in the life cycle of Hammer, but Blunt Force Gun is just so much more fun, so much better, and it does a lot of things that Napalm just cannot do. So, pick whatever you want. It's preference. I think it's just preference. I didn't talk about our Z, which is called Thrusters. Increase movement speed by 60% for 4 seconds. Thrusters are always active while at the Hall of Storms, but this is on a 30-second cooldown. And I can tell you 100% that I took the wrong level 13 talent in this game, which is going to mean that my thrusters are absolute garbage, and I'm not going to realize that until level 16 or so, because I thought I picked the right talent. Turns out I hit the wrong button. So we'll just talk about the build now so we can, mention my shame. At level 1, we are going to be taking the newly updated Maelstrom rounds. So activate Maelstrom to increase basic attack damage by 30% for 5 seconds. Hitting an enemy hero or structure with basic attacks while in siege mode reduces the cooldown of Maelstrom rounds by 5 seconds. The splash counts for reducing the cooldown. So if you manage to hit multiple buildings, multiple heroes, you're going to reduce the cooldown much more often. And considering that it's a 30% increase, pretty fucking good. Especially from the range that you can get this stuff at. I took a lot of damage from that Asmo. I cannot believe he didn't die for doing what he did there. Ow. God, it's so nice to have a pocket healer when you're playing. Like when your team is just playing inside the gigantic red circle. That was good. Sergeant Hammer is just completely unfucking killable. Because everybody on the enemy team wants to kill Hammer, but all they really end up doing is, I'm dead. Ghost beats Siege Tank, apparently. And all that gloating I was just doing falls apart at the very last moment. Boop! Got him with the lightning rod. Nice. Back to the build, though. Maelstrom rounds. This used to only be that you would get cooldown reduction on the buildings. This was like a CG split push hammer. So ambush is all that I used to take, but now that Maelstrom rounds has been adjusted to, get the cooldown from heroes as well. Like it's infinitely better, and I think this is probably just the go-to pick from now on for level 1. Ambush is still really good for like burst damage and hiding hammer, but I don't know that you can really beat that almost infinite 30% damage increase. And it's going to couple really well with our level 20 talent too, but we'll get there. Siege Tactics is our level 4 talent. Using Neo Steel Plating while in siege mode gives us unstoppable for 2 seconds as long as we remain in siege mode. When Sergeant Hammer got her initial rework and they gave this ability, or this talent, the ability to, oh my god, we're fighting over a coin camp. Alexstrasza actually making it out, but a huge mosh pit catching 2 people while she just heals the living shit out of them. I don't really know how she lived, but that whole thing was weird, because I was the one to run in to get onto the point. The tank went in, then the actual tank went in, and then 1 person died. Even though probably 3 should have died. So really well played from the Alexstrasza, keeping everybody alive as long as she did with her ult, and making it out. I don't know if it was luck or if it's skill, but kudos to you, sir. Our level 7 talent, again, Hammer used to be able to remain unstoppable after she would get out of siege mode, after using Neo Steel Plating. So, what's it called? Siege Tactics. And it was just busted as hell, because she would be unstoppable while boosting away, and everything about that made her impossible to kill. And just really awful stuff. So now what they've done is changed it to only work while you're in siege mode, which means that our level 7 talent, Hover Siege Mode, is going to be infinitely more important, because we can move while we're unstoppable for 2 seconds, but it's just real slow movement. Now I know graduating range got a buff this time around. It's basically so that I had my E up and didn't hit it. I am A little upsetty spaghetti there. Please, no, not with all the coins. You made it. You absolute champion, taking 2 kills. And I'm going to die to some tower shots, I guess? Let me see. Yeah, I ate 2 tower shots somehow. Not overly understanding of why I was in that range, but I guess I was. My bizzle tizzle. So, level 7, graduating range, they changed it so that our basic attack range increases by 1 every 2 seconds. It used to be every 3 seconds, but you have to remain completely stationary. And even though the range that you get from graduating range is ridiculously large, you're still very vulnerable because you're standing still. So while it may be that the enemy team has to walk a little bit more to get to you, if they have characters like Hanzo firing a global-ass Dragon's Arrow, where are you going, buddy? You can't go that way. You gon' die. Yep. Now the time has come. His arms just straight up with the ragdoll. That was precious. I love Asmodean. Looks like Blaze is just helping us take out the chest. I appreciate that. I will take every little bit I can because I don't kill those chests considerably quick. Right. Anyway, hover siege mode's still the best. I don't think you can take graduating range. Pulse detonation core also got a buff. I can't remember. Yeah, I really don't remember how this got changed. Mainly because I will never build mines. I'm not going to do it. I don't think it's good. I'm sorry. If it's a totally mean build. I know that people probably enjoy it, but I don't think it's good. What was it? Barricade also got a buff. I think what they did was... damn, I cannot believe I missed her. Maybe the cooldown reduction was more?
Your fort's in ruin.
I'm not sure.
We're on, boys. Let's liven up this place.
You can't pick it over siege tactics. Anyway, that's enough thought spent on that ability. 10, blunt force gun. We've already talked about that. This is my stupid 13 talent. I don't know why, but I thought hypercooling engines was up here, so I clicked 1 instead of 3. Number 3 is what I really needed, because while in siege mode, hitting heroes with basic attacks reduces the cooldown of thrusters by 5 seconds. Not only is that going to share that cooldown reduction with Maelstrom rounds when we're doing that sort of cooldown reduction, it helps us use our Z to get in and out of trouble when we're in siege mode more often, and I picked this dumb shit mine talent. Moving while thrusters is active leaves a trail of 5 spider mines and increases the slow. Like, fuck off. Why would anyone take that? Huge Hinterland Blast to take out the Alexstrasza and the Mosh Pit. And now we have to protect our healer like she's been protecting us using our Unstoppable and our 16 shield, which has been newly buffed as well. I need to go. Are we going to... Nope, we're not going to make it. Because my Z was on cooldown for another 2 seconds because my piece of shit 13 talent is just so bad. Just so bad. If you're going to play Hammer, you always take hypercooling engines. There's no reason to pick anything else at 13. It's just don't do it. You have to have your mount to get out of situations like that one that I was just in. Had I had it up like I was slamming my Z thinking that I did, I would have gotten away. But here we are. Pressing the wrong button can get you into some bad situations. Anyway, 16, Mechanical Know-How. This talent recently got changed. It used to be that it would only give you a 5% shield, and when the shield was broken, you would deal a whole bunch of damage. But it's kind of trash because it was a really tiny shield, and even though you're doing a lot of damage, if you're using a shield, if you're using a defensive ability, if you want it to actually not suck, and it's probably going to help you just get away. Whereas it's buffing all of your damage so that you want to go in, but it used to be like if you still had the shield, you wouldn't get the damage, and you know, just it was the talent didn't know what it wanted to do. So what they've done is changed it to Neo Steel Plating is going to give us a 20% max health shield for 2 seconds, and it's going to increase our basic attack damage by 30% for 5 seconds. I think it used to. Damn, son, what a shot! Oh, the tour bus coming in on the Hanzo. Can we get over to him? And he is deleted as well. Blaze coming in with the bunker, trying to save what's left of this team fight, but doesn't really understand that there's 5 people grouped up in the middle of this choke point, and now, even with all of that Alexstrasza healing, he's just going to die. That poor Firebat. Siege Tank versus Firebat, I mean, how were you really expecting to win? But Mechanical Know-How is extremely good now, because you're going to get that extra attack damage. I think it went from 60% to 30%, so huge nerf on the actual numbers. But the big-ass shield, coupled with 5 seconds of ridiculous-ass damage, coupled with Maelstrom rounds, and our level 20 talent, is just going to make Hammer do so much fucking damage. It is going to be crazy. We can also take Giant Killer here if we're ever in a position where we need to do percent health damage with Hammer. I think that's also really good. But you have the option now at 16 because the shield that doesn't suck so much ass. And then our level 20 talent, we're not taking the Orbital BFG. I have had my mind changed to the Ultra Capacitors. Hitting an enemy hero with basic attacks while in siege mode grants 5% attack speed for 5 seconds, stacking up to 40% additional attack speed. No, it's nuts. Now, anytime there's a mosh going off, anytime that we are in siege mode providing lots of damage like we do, ow. Oh god. Hammer goes down. I mean, not Hammer, White Mane goes down. So does Blaze though, and you can see all this attack speed just blasting people to pieces. I love this. Finally, our Falstad misses his ult. I'm not going to blame it. Like, you've just been ripping those bitches earlier. Really, I think our Malthael is our MVP because we haven't seen him this entire game, but he has been doing a masterful job soaking and not dying. Absolutely awesome. We're in siege mode. We don't have to get anywhere near the core to deal damage to it, and we do a lot of damage. So, if I want to pop my shield at any point, there it is. Gonna knock her back a bit. I need to leave. I could probably be killed by a dragon, and there seems to be an Asmo trying to backdoor while our Malthael gets a camp. Everything that I was just mentioning about Malthael is kind of not super correct anymore, because he's still doing a coin camp while the Asmo solos are fucking core. Wow. Give that guy a medal. Give the Asmo a medal, not the Malthael. I guess Malthael's going for the turn-in. Maybe he was thinking that our turn-in would end the game faster than Asmo killing our core, but imagine that we hadn't responded to Asmo. We would have lost the game just there. And that would have been pretty fucking spooky. I'm just going to leave that out there right now. All of the damage happening inside our circle. The enemy team really can't do anything about it. The Encore actually throwing them for a bit of a loop. The tour bus again catching another character while we just unload the attack speed into the Nova's face. Ha! I don't know what you thought was going to happen, buddy. I mean, you have to do this, right? If we get the turn in, you just lose. But all of our lanes are pushing. All of our merc camps are going. We just win. Kudos to Blaze for not giving up until the very end, but there you have it. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that Hammer is beatable when your team is willing to do everything that we did. Just absolutely nuts. Because all you have to do is stand in the big circle, keep healing her, make sure she's alive, and then when your tank creates an engage inside the circle, people are just dead. Nice. Nice lightning. But, that's fucking nuts. Sergeant Hammer is just unbeatable if you're willing to play around Sergeant Hammer. 99% of the player base isn't, so that's a thing that happens too. But this character is fucking broken when her team knows what to do. 35% of team's hero damage. Wicked. Got 40% of our money bags on our mouthfeel as well. Fantastic stuff. Just really doing it. Doing it and doing it well. I'm not unhappy with that performance. Even though I died a couple times because I didn't have my 13 talent, I really enjoyed that game. 69 stacks of Gathering Storm. Nice. So Maelstrom Rounds is going to be our level 1. Siege Tactics is level 4. Hover Siege Mode at 7. Blunt Force Gun at 10. Not Tactical Mine Deployment. This talent's fucking trash. Take Hypercooling Engines. It's the only talent at 13. Everything else is stupid. And I hate that I picked this by accident. Our level 16 is Mechanical Know-How because this fucking shield is broken now. And our 20 is Ultra Capacitors. You can also take Orbital BFG. I think both are fine. But I really like this one a lot. That's going to be it for Sergeant Hammer. We'll be back tomorrow to end out the week on a high note. And I will see you guys there. Peace out.